Hi girls and boys, we're going to look today at how to write an explanation. So when you are writing your explanation, you want to begin with a character name. Now remember, my example is about Atum's I, and I have chosen to focus on the protagonist, Atum. So my explanation is going to begin with Atum. But perhaps looking at your evidence, maybe your evidence is about Isis or Osiris or Anubis or Nephis, in which case your explanation would begin with the name of your character, because that's going to be the subject of your sentence. So I'm beginning with Atum, and the first part of your explanation should be a brief explanation of how your character shows your micro-concept. So my micro-concept is family as a source of care, and I am starting with Atum cares for his children, because that most directly connects to my micro-concept. Now, if I scroll down, here are the micro-concepts. So if you are looking at the micro-concept of Isis's protective love, right, perhaps you will begin with Isis shows protective love towards, right? Or if you are looking at the character of Nephis, you might begin with Nephis shows challenges within family, right, when, and you can give an example, right? Or maybe you are looking at the micro-concept of family as a source of nurture or family as a source of care, just like I am, right? And you would then say, you know, who it is that cares in your myth, which family member shows care and towards who, and what that care looks like. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm starting my sentence with Atum cares for his children, right, and fears for their well-being. Because the point that I'm making is that we can see that Atum cares for his children because he's very fearful that they may come to some harm, or that their well-being is in some kind of danger. He shows this. So that's why I've got that as my first sentence. And I explain that he cares for his children and fears for their well-being when they are lost. His frantic cries for them to return clearly demonstrate family as a source of care. Now, the bold writing here, you must have. So I've written clearly demonstrate, but you could change that to clearly show or clearly convey or clearly portray or clearly illustrate, because all of those words mean the same thing, okay? So it's clearly illustrated that family is a source of care, right? And then I've put my micro-concept here. So you must use one of the phrases in bold that I've just shared with you, and you must include the micro-concept, right, as a link to a more detailed answer. So this more detailed answer must then use the word because. So you have to use the word because, and then you have to give your reason. So it's clearly illustrated that family is a source of care in Atum's eye because their father Atum knows they are in a vulnerable situation in the dark, deep waters of Nun, and wants them to return to him where they'll be safe. So I've then gone on to explain that the dark, deep waters of Nun make Shu and Tefra vulnerable. It's a vulnerable situation. okay? And that is why he's fearful for them. And he wants them to go back to them so they'll be safe. So this is how you write a full explanation. You'll see that this is a long, complex sentence, okay? 4 lines. This is the minimum that I want you to write.